Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to round 4 of the Race Spec Pacific Tier 1 Saturday Endurance League. And we today are at Imola, a 19 corner track with 10 corners to the left and 9 to the right, 4.9 kilometers in length, and there's going to be 63 laps today in this endurance round. And with me today, I have the one, the only Tent-Sandles. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. Imola, an awesome track. Keen to see what the boys are going to do again. Always keen to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. We love to have you. We're having a good time, us two. I'm enjoying our little rapports and everything. And you know what? Let's get straight into action. And yeah, few new faces today because we've got a few. Ooh, already got a message in the chat. Thanks there. It's dry completely apparently. So the fear of the wet is out the window.
Yeah, awesome. Be a bit of a change of pace from last week for these boys after a full wet race. I'm sure they're happy that it's dry.
Oh yeah, that was, I think some of those guys, that was pure pain there in the wet. Some of them enjoyed it, some of them prospered, and some of them had not so great a time. A couple of cars coming out onto the track. We see Racing Up to coming out first one on the medium tyre. But yes, I was just about to say, couple of new drivers on the scene here. We've got a Wogboy who I think is reserving in the Ferrari tonight, and I swear there was another one, and Drax I've not seen before in the Aston Martin, giving us a grid of 17 tonight. Yeah, after Racing Up to out, and and I should mention, so continuing on from our driver interviews of that we had Ferrari Pro, an in-depth interview, and he joined us last week for we followed him throughout the race. Unfortunately, he didn't have a great race, and definitely 100% not commentator's curse before anybody jumps in and says that. And we're going to continue headstrong on with that, and we are going to have the one, the only G-Force Ford on with us in a little bit after they get settled in. We're going to follow him, currently our championship leader. So I'm very excited to grill him all about last week's race, which was, what an ending to that race.
Yeah, most certainly. What were those tyres at? He ran them the entire race, those wets, and yeah, honestly, was still putting in some blistering times at the end there.
Yeah, let's follow Racing up to round 10. Do you want to take us through a lap with the lad?
Yeah, no worries. Just got to be careful of those yellow bumps on those curbs there. Definitely don't want to touch them. Let's see how well he goes through these corners. Oh, nowhere near the apex there, but I know a lot of drivers like to take that racing line. Personally, I don't. I take a much tighter line there. So what are we coming up to here? Turn 8 and then turn 9. Pretty quick one. Should drop down to 5th gear. Yes, does. Touches plenty of curb. Oh, beautiful there. Into turns 11, 12, 13. Gonna hold it tight. Hopefully doesn't lose the rear end. Does lose the rear end a little bit, but collects it really nicely and real quick. Now into the last chicane of this track with turns 14, 15. Takes all the curb as you want to do. Coming into turns 17, 18, the last corners of this track. Let's hope that he can keep them nice and tight and clean. Beautifully done there. Got to watch the rear end a little bit here. Held nicely, and that was a nice lap from Racing Up to a good banker lap there.
117.9. I think there's still straight away still the Ford going over 2 seconds quicker. So I would imagine that Racing Up to is going to be going again with that lap there. Looks like he's carrying on. But yeah, no, he looked very tidy through that lap, and then just a little bit of struggling with the traction coming out of Aqua Minerales up the hill. Very tricky traction zone. Good old 40, he's coming out, he's just been on his flying lap, so we'll see where that time puts in, but already some pretty competitive lap times here, and I think everyone just warming up. Carl with the commentator's curse, you reckon? I don't believe in the commentator's curse, Carl, so we're gonna go on commentating, cursing all of these people. But no, hopefully not. Hopefully they'll all survive BS. So that is Ford. Then we're gonna be we're gonna have a little chat with him in just a second. And if anybody has any questions they'd like to ask Ford in the chat, go and shoot those in there, because we'll ask him some questions. But yeah, what a race that was last week. Yep, the lap time's coming in thick and fast here. Leo is a weirdo sitting up there with a 1:14.4 in P1. So good lap time from him there. I think that's a very respectable time there from those two guys.
Yeah, a lot of boys still yet to complete a lap. Looks like Scotty has completed a lap, but must have invalidated his first one. We'll see. Hopefully he is on another lap here and is able to set a banker.
Yeah, a couple of drivers there now. You can see already choosing to go on that medium tyre. So far, it hasn't really worked out for them in terms of trying to get it. Well, I mean, Drax is there in P9, but there's still a lot of drivers still set times. I'm not sure that people are going to survive with this, with the medium tyre in the top 10. I'm not quite sure it's going to work out for them.
Yeah, look, I'm not too sure. I know the medium tyre is a pretty good race tyre, but it's always a challenge when they're on the faster compound that they can just pull away from you.
Alrighty, as everyone has been setting some lap times in, you know what? Let's get Ford in. Let's get Ford in and see what he has to say. Is he unmuted? I hope he's unmuted now. Yes, he's unmuted. Ford, how are you doing? He's still muted. I haven't unmuted him. I've failed absolutely to mute him. Here we go. Now he's unmuted. Ford, how are you doing?
Not bad. How are you guys?
Good. We're quite a bit of action already. Some pretty competitive lap times out there, sitting pretty tastily in P3. Bit of room still on that time?
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't the best. Like, it was kind of just get a lap on board, see, then I can work it from there. But yeah, I guess, if I can be starting, I'd definitely front two rows today. I'd be happy.
Yeah, not going for that medium tyre?
No, not worried about that. No.
Not worried at all. Confidence. So
Yeah.
you're going to be going soft then, strategy-wise? What are you kind of thinking?
I actually have no idea about the strategy here, so I'm going to work it out as I go. Yeah, I was actually asleep until about 10 minutes before the race, so yeah.
That's fair enough. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been racing for Racepak?
I've been racing since it was first begun, I guess. I know Plebs on a personal level, so he created Race Spec, I guess. But yeah, I did a couple leagues before Race Spec back in 2018, and then I think Race Spec was developed for the F1 2019 game, and since then I've been with them pretty much every season.
Oh, that's interesting. And what's the little behind the G-Force names? Could you explain that?
There's a couple of us through the Pacific Series who use, the G-Force tag, I guess, in front of their name. And I guess you can say it's like a little clan we have, where we, share information about setups or, tips on how to get quicker and stuff. So, yeah, there's a couple of us throughout mainly the Pacific region, but also, I guess, in a couple of other regions. And, we pretty much just, help each other get quicker in the game, I guess.
Oh, that's really great. And what's your... actually, tell us a little bit about your setup.
So I just use a Logitech G29. Nothing fancy. I've had it since 2018 now, so it's been a while. Still gets the job done. I was looking to upgrade to a new wheel, but I guess, money and stuff, I'm happy with the G29. It does its job for me nicely. So yeah, that's pretty much what I use. I got a rig I got from a mate for free, but nice. Yeah, not much else other than that.
Nice. That's our second interviewee to be rocking the G29, popular wheel. So you're just on the outlap here, just getting the tyres ready. There's another guy behind you, not too far away, but I think you'll be right with that.
Don't think he's on a lap. Is there any noises from my wheel?
There is a little bit, but we like that. We like that. It makes us feel like we're there with you.
No worries.
So we'll let you take us through a lap if you're keen to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see how I go.
Buddy.
All right. So coming onto the pit straight, I guess you want to try to get the best exit you can. Short shifts the gears up to 8th. I'm running 10-7 wings, so quite a lot of downforce on the front end. Not much on the rear. Come up here about 75 meters out. Brake as hard as you can. Touch a little bit of the yellow cones, but they can unsettle your car and hurt your wrists and the wheel quite a bit. Flat out for this left-hander. braking heavy, down to 4th for the right, and then on the right here, about 50 metre board, you're braking again. Short shift out, get the wheel pointed straight as early as possible. Get up to 7th here, drop it back to 5th at the 50 metre board. Use a lot of apex on the inside. Run out a bit oversteer. Keep it flat for the first right, drop it down to 5th. After 4th, sorry. Oh, a bit wide, invalidated. I'll keep going if you want. 7th, and about 50 metre board, you want to drop it again. Down to about 3rd, use a lot of these curbs to help rotate the car. And again, back down to 7th. Use a bit of engine braking for these final 2 corners. Keep it in 7th, about 75 metres out. Braking again. Back down to 3rd. You want a really nice exit here again. Keep it through 4th, roll the car through. And on the exit, I would have done you'll see actually, but 14.3. So I think I might have just been behind Ferrari, but I'm not sure.
That would have put you in pole.
Would it?
Yep.
Wow.
By half a tenth. So unfortunate with that. It's so easy to just go over a little bit. So they unfortunate there. But that lap looked pretty on the money though. Otherwise.
Yeah, it was. It felt quick. But yeah, maybe a little room for improvement. But yeah, it felt alright.
So we won't hold you up for too long now. I was just going to ask, so is Mercedes your favourite team then? Hence the Mercedes?
Not necessarily. I prefer McLaren the most, I think. But in terms of the constructors fight last year, I don't like Red Bull too much. So yeah, I definitely was going for Mercedes there.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you about your helmet as well. What's with the any particular with the design? Just
Yeah, so I try to always get a little bit of I guess green and gold on the helmet where possible. So there's like a couple stripes of green on there. I'm not sure if you can see them too well. But definitely with the yellow. Yeah, as Australia, you know, I like representing the country, I guess. So yeah, green and gold.
Well, we will leave you to concentrate there and work up to your last lap, but we'll leave you around and we might hear from you a little bit later depending on how the race goes. We'll jump in for a chat here and there, and otherwise thanks for that. And that was such a great experience to listen to you and hear. You could hear the wheel and we could hear the amount of effort you were putting in there, and it was really good. So thanks.
I was nervous, I'll tell you. I
well, you handled it perfectly. I can tell you that.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Good luck in qualifying. Good luck in the race. What are we aiming for? Goals?
Race for quali definitely P1. Pole after the lap I just did there. I feel like I got it in me there. As for the race, if I can get a podium, I think I'll walk away happy.
Alrighty. Well, we'll catch up with you in a bit. Thank you again.
Sounds good. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
That was G-Force 4 there, our current championship leader, and unfortunately, as we saw there, just don't you start Carl with this commentator's curse, with that invalidation. I know you're going to be straight on me with that one, but otherwise that was a pretty hot lap. So anyway, we'll do a little roundup of what's going on. Leo there, still sitting, he has actually improved, so that lap by Ford would not have been pole anymore with a 14.2. Anything else going on that I missed while I was chatting, Tent?
Not a lot. Scotty has set his first lap up into P8 there. We've seen laps also from Plebs and a couple of the other boys. So yeah, I'm sure they're all going to hit the pits pretty soon, then come out for their final lap.
Yeah, and I've now noticed there's definitely a lack of the yellow tyre, isn't there? Everyone has just switched over to that soft.
Yeah, don't think starting on those mediums would be the best of ideas.
Kyle says, how dare you ruin Ford's lap? How dare you insinuate that I ruined Ford's lap? He made that mistake on his own. I had nothing to do with it. So yes, these boys are now getting ready for their final run. A couple of guys haven't set a lap at all. That of Wogboy, who's now out and about. I think he just wants to get a clear run without any cars. Started going slightly out of sync with the other lot. So we might just actually ride on board with him, see how he goes, because we know he's pretty quick with a 16.2 at the minute. Heading down the Variante Bassa into the Tamburello chicane here. Gets it, hooks up nicely. Yeah, plenty of exit there. You don't want to touch those big yellow curves. Pretty nasty. Now heading down into the Villeneuve chicane. Hooked up again pretty nicely, using plenty of that exit curb into the Tosser. tosser. We're going to call it the tosser, not the tosser. That's what we've decided whilst we're having a chat. No, I'm joking. No, we're going to call it the tosser. And then heading up to Piratella now, this high-speed turn to the left, making sure you do not go wide, which then heads down the hill into Aqua Minerale. Very easy to lose the rear end coming out. This is the cargo's light. A little bit of movement there, and also easy to invalidate, but he keeps it in bounds. Does Wogboy heading into the final chicane at the Variante Alta. Got to take as much curb as possible there without invalidating. It's a smooth exit running over those rumble strips on the exit. Now heading down into the final couple of corners. Rivazza 1 and Rivazza 2 braking as late as he can, but not too late. Really wants to make you brake late into that, but gets it hooked up nicely. Not much understeer through their car, probably as from Ford running there. Pretty high downforce at the front, and he sets a 15.9. Doesn't improve, unfortunately, on that time. Very tight at the bottom there between him and Drax.
Yeah, a bit unsure what he was doing on that lap. He used no ERS through that lap, and he activated at the end, wondering whether he was setting up for this lap.
Oh, that's interesting. Good point there. I didn't pick up on that. He's gotten wide there and invalidated, so that lap's done. Anyways, Tinselman also not setting a lap here. He's coming out here a little bit out of sync too, coming out a bit earlier. Hopefully he doesn't get any traffic on his lap coming through here. And then the rest of the guys now coming out of the pits as well. I think we're going to see everybody on the track in this final stages of this qualifying session with just 2 minutes to go. Yes, locks up to Tinselman into the toast, hairpin there, but gets a nice exit run up the hill, heading up to Piratella. Bit wide going through there, wide on the exit, and that's an invalidation. Yeah, just if you don't get it quite hooked up on the inside there, you're going to get pushed out, and that's an invalidation slam dunk right there. Luckily, he's got plenty of time. He can reset and go again. There's a slow-moving McLaren on, I don't know if he's avoiding people or he's gone off the track. Doesn't look like there's any damage on that car. And he gets going again, does Karma there. This is very close with the times there. Look at those guys there. 4 drivers with a 14.8. Absolutely, wow. Doesn't get much closer than that.
Yeah, keen to see what Wogboy does on his, I'm assuming would be actual first proper lap. Hopefully can jump up the rankings a fair amount.
Yeah, he obviously took out a lot of fuel because he's been out there for quite a few laps now, and it's all putting his eggs all in one basket there with the final run. Ford there just lining up on his lap. He's gonna wanting to look to improve upon his time. Currently sitting in the P4, and yeah, very very close even with those guys there. I think it's what that. Just over a second separating the whole field, so it's really good to see, and hopefully we'll get some good racing as well. Their race pace hopefully will be close too. Who's going to be first across the line, Ten? Who do you reckon? One of the Ferraris. Wogboy's abandoned, he's come into the pit, so his qualifying is done. A little bit disappointing, probably. There's quite a few drivers actually in the pits / coming in the pits. The first driver coming across the line, also going in the pits there. Both Leo and Ferrari not improving. Yeah, that's a bit of an anti-climax at the moment. Who have we got coming? Let's just have a jump up across the line. That's Tinselman. He's going to be the first one. Tinselman jumps up to P11. Scotty there. Proves 2. Yeah, it's going to be. It looks like it's Ford and Scotty who are going to be challenging. Oh, no, Scotty's done, right? No, he's coming onto his lap. This red fuel light is blinking away there. Right, he's coming to the pits abandoned. Everyone abandoning their runs. Ford's just coming across the line now. Puts it in P1. Steals that at the last moment with a 14.1. Grabbing P1 there. And I would think that we've got one more driver who's going to be coming... no, abandoned. Everyone abandoned. Oh, they're all invalidating. Is CBF Rude done too? Yep, he's done. That was it. Wow. Okay, not a lot of people setting laps in their final runs. Maybe just pushing that a little bit too hard. Invalidating.
Yeah, it went from pure chaos to wrapping up real quick there.
Yeah. Yeah, Plevs securing that P3, just pipping Ferrari Pro there in the 14.4s, and there you go. That's Ford's prediction of grabbing pole. He's managed to do that. Can he hold on to the podium for the race?
Yeah, let's hope that he finishes in first as well, and then we can definitively say that there is no commentator's curse.
We're listening to you, Carl. There's definitely not a commentator's curse. Yeah, so Ford, P1. Leo is a weirdo in P2, Plevs in P3, Ferrari Pro in P4, and Scotty in P5, rounding off the top 5 there. Everyone on that soft tyre. Those guys still, look at that, didn't improve. Draxler in 6, but Jays, Karma, Zach, and Bags, all with a 14.8. So close between these guys, and they round off the top 10. We've got Silderfort in P11. He's starting a little bit lower than I think he would have wanted there. Tinselman in P12, racing up to Trikid. BP down in 15th on the medium tyre, not committing to a soft. That's a bit of a, that's interesting from him. And Rude and Wogboy rounding off the group. That's BP. I think that's the shocker from that one.
Yeah, and I think, what was it, top 11 drivers within a second of the pole position time. So, very tight field.
Yeah, you love to see it, but yeah, I wonder what happened to BP there, because we know he's pretty quick. He was challenging, he won that last race last week, challenging for the win with Ford, having a great duel in the wet. So it's a bit sad to see him down the bottom. Hopefully someone else will be able to challenge Ford, because we've seen it before in earlier races. Him in P1, he just if there's no one to challenge there, he just sort of checked out, didn't he, in the first couple of races?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it's a strategic move, but yeah, with Ford in that pole position, I'm sure he's just going to cruise away and create that gap that's needed.
That is exactly what I'm sure Ford will be wanting to do, and obviously the other guys will be wanting to challenge that and prevent it from happening. Let's take a really quick squiz at the standings there for you guys at home. Ford with a 73 point and a 10 point lead over Plebs, who's in P2, Scotty in P3, and Bags in P4. BP down in P5 at the moment, but it's still early days yet, still time to challenge for that championship. Everything can still happen. Ferrari Pro, after that unfortunate DNF last time, sitting in P9, who we had interviewed last time. And yeah, guys out in their formation lap, we know that we've been told that it's dry, so no one having to worry about any kind of rain at all. Just go through that grid to have a look and see what tyres people have decided to pit on here. Top 10 obviously all starting on the soft tyre. Ford, Leo in the Williams, Plevs in the Alpine, down in P3, Ferrari Pro in P4, Scotty, Drax and Jays in the AlphaTauri. Good qualifying from the AlphaTauri guys. P8 goes to Karma in the McLaren, Zach P9 and Bags in P10, rounding off the top 10 soft runners. And straight away, a couple of guys in the mediums. First runner here, Silderfort. Tinselman in the with the medium tyre, also in P12, racing up to, and Trikid choosing to go with that aggressive soft, and going to be looking at making some positions early on. BP going for a medium along with Rude, and then finally Wogboy on the hard.
Yeah, bit interesting. Maybe you're going to try and do that one stop.
Yeah, maybe looking at that, I'd say it's here's the strategy up for you guys here. It's telling us a 2-stop, soft medium's probably going to be better than the soft hard, but I'm sure Wallboy would be rather go for that 1-stop like you said. Guys getting plenty of energy into the tyres. The Ferrari Pro's gone round. It's very easy to do that, go around that slow corner going around here, and a little whoopsie there from him. Gets on it's looking, there's ghosting on. Oh, that in the slow corners. These modern F1 cars having absolutely no turn, with none of their aero being used, and luckily that's not going to affect him anything. It'll just reset him back into position there.
Yeah, but you got to remember his tyres might be a little bit too hot due to that spin now, so he might not get off the line as he wants.
Indeed. So now the guy's just on the grid, and we're going to be waiting for these lights to go out. And this bloody timing glitch. 3 lights, 4, 5 lights. Away they go. This is a terrible camera angle. And Plebs gets a great start. They're looking all ready to challenge Ford, going defensive on the inside. Ford moves then to the outside, and it looks like he's going to have the run. Plebs going to have a look down the inside. Oh, his Leo's all over the curbs. Everyone else going 2 by 2 through that first section, seeming to get through all fine, I think, through here. So that's good on the start. And yeah, it's all quite... Oh, there's an Alpine on the gravel in the background there. But otherwise, they got through surprisingly cleanly through the first couple of corners, and already a bit of a gap opening up for iPro, trying to look for around the outside on Scotty at Piratella, and gets the move done. But I don't think Scotty's going to let him get away with that, but they're going to have to sail single file down the hill into Aqua Minerales. A couple of position changes at the back there. Racing Upters lost quite a few on that start. Not ideal for him on that soft tyre. BP also having a great start. 5 positions gained, so he's yeah, looking to make those moves. And that front pack already opening up a gap there at the front.
Yeah, saw GeForce Wogboy did not get a good launch off on those hards, and they kept it pretty clean, the boys, but BPV8 being the biggest winner out of the race start, coming up 5 places.
Yeah, that was good to see everyone make it through, and it was all seen pretty clean. A couple of guys off the track having to take a couple Upters in the pits, I presume, because he's got some sort of damage. Let's just take a little look at this. Do they have a front wing for him? Yes, they do, so that's not ideal, but it's early days yet. Plebs hustling the back of Ford. Definitely not letting him get away at the moment, so we'll just keep an eye on this battle also with Leo is a weirdo right tucked in behind them also.
Yeah, these boys are already creating that gap to Ferrari Pro. I'm sure he's hoping to focus in and try and catch him, and hoping that Scotty won't hustle him too much.
Yeah, they're going to hopefully want to work together and pull the gap back in, keep within that DRS, because once that's activated, that'll really help. There's a yellow flag. Sector 2 is that Wogboy has gone round at Aqua Mineral. It's very easy to do, especially with that hard tyre. Probably doesn't have the grip that he needed, a bit cold maybe as well. And yeah, Leo is a widow, really pressuring Plebs here into the Ravazza. And then 2 and out through here. He's right on the back of Plebs. And I wonder if he's going to go for the move already without the DRS, which Sector 3, McLaren has gone round of Tinselman. We're just going to stay on board with this, see if Leo tries to make a move. No, he backs out of that one. Let's have a quick look at Tinselman. Has he taken any... No, he's going, so no damage there. A couple of guys already out of position from the first couple of laps, making mistakes.
Yeah, Leo constantly taking little looks. Is he going to make a dive bomb up here? No, the gap seems too large there, but he seems really adamant that he wants to get Plebs as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is a great camera angle for once, looking his helicopter shot, loving the action from up here. Shame there was no moves made, because that would have been a great place to see that as they head down the hill into Aqua Minerale. And Ferrari Pro has caught up to the back of this pack now. Scotty is the one who's dropped back, and he's going to feel the pressure from the guys behind. There's our first penalty of the evening of CBF Route. We've got a yellow flag. What's that? Racing Upter's out. Racing Upter's gone round. And that's a virtual safety car. Neutralised the race. And whilst we're looking at that, I might see if my magic... Oh, it's a safety car. It's turned into... Oh, there's another car out as well.
Tinselman has also gone.
What's happened here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Aqua Minerales, I presume, just on the exit going up the hill. Probably took too much of that curb and has gone round. That's 2 people. A couple of guys in the pits. Ford choosing to go in the pits already. That's a interesting strategy there. He's the only one that seems to have done that. Now there's a McLaren coming in behind him. Oh, I wonder... yeah, okay. Early pit stop. Obviously feeling that the medium is going to last him a lot longer. We'll see how that pans out. A couple of other guys also choosing to do that too. Quick decision there from Ford. But there's Rude's gone on the hard tyre instead.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ford there that Moore didn't pit. He's got a lot of traffic to try and get through now.
Yeah, that's not going to be ideal for his fight, but it's a long race and everything. So I will now try my little replay system I'm working on to see if we can watch that start again. See if this works. It hasn't been behaving, so I'm hoping it will behave. Let's have a look at what we have here. Oh yeah. No. not going to behave. Oh well, okay, give up on that one. I'll try it again later and see if that was. But yeah, that start. Did you see Leo there just taking that inside curb was it Tamburello, the first chicane, wasn't it? Not the second. It just having a bit of a Hamilton Verstappen moment there, just bouncing over that curb. Luckily, the damage model is not going to do that much. You can still take 4 damage. But I think he would have been alright coming through there. Although I have had experience with this track in the past where it has absolutely smashed the floor, and unfortunately the game is not very good at telling you when you have floor damage, so it's quite hard to tell.
Yeah, I haven't had any personal experiences with that, but yeah, it's always a possibility with this game.
Yeah, so early safety car there. It's it's pretty interesting. Yeah, we didn't get any incidents on the on the on the opening lap, but then they all started coming from I guess you could call them maybe unforced errors of a couple of cars going around, but are unfortunate already. We've lost 2 cars, Tinselman in the McLaren and racing up to in the Haas, so unfortunate to see them go. Or maybe there was a bit of an incident with Tinselman there, who feels like he wasn't giving enough room in a corner, so we'll see if we can chase that on from him and find out what happened exactly between those guys. Yeah, so but otherwise not really that much to change in terms of strategy.
No, should be just continue as planned.
Yeah, most drivers choosing to just stay out on that tyre a bit too early, maybe to take a corner meet on the soft. They're feeling that their soft will go on for plenty of time, but we'll see if that early pit stop was a stroke of genius on Ford's behalf later on, and see if that pans out for him.
Yeah, big task ahead of him, trying to make his way through that pack.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and keep it nice and clean too. It's very easy to get stuck on with incidents, and as you're trying to thread your way through the pack, especially he's got Walkboy there in front of him on those hard tyres, which I'm sure will not fire up very well on this track as the safety car notices come in for this lap now. At the end of this lap, the car will be coming in, and that leaves it to Plebs to restart us. And I'm sure Leo is going to be all over the back of him on this restart, along with Ferrari Pro. And the action can once again resume. Just putting a little bit of temperature into his tyres is Ferrari Pro. Just keep an eye out. Wonder when Plebs is going to go. I'd imagine he's going to go quite late onto the line. Otherwise, they're going to get a decent run on him. But it looks like he's gone already out of the Ravazza. And Leo's got a pretty decent run on Plebs. Ferrari just a little bit of a bigger gap there. There's a car that's gone round at CBF route on the hard tyre. What was I just saying about firing up that hard tyre? Ford's already made a move. Wogboy's just going backwards, and it's pretty unchanged at the front there, so we'll just jump down to have a look what's happened here, because yeah, he's just and Rude straight in the pits on the hard tyre. Yeah, not ideal on those restarts.
Yeah, it was a bit interesting, a bit of a tricky track to do a race restart and try and get yourself that gap with being such a long straight. They kind of did slipstream back up to you, but he's kept the position. That's really all that matters.
Yeah, I think that hard tyre is probably the wrong choice. It doesn't look like it's super sunny as well, so it's probably a little bit more difficult to get it heated up, especially on a safety car. And yeah, I presume that Rude just went around on the exit, just like we saw Ferrari Pro making a move on Leo, who's just got it all wrong at the Varianta Alta chicane, and he's got Scotty now breathing down his neck, and he's not going to be close enough to make a move. But that yeah, Ferrari Pro is through into P2, left to chase down Plebs. Plebs has got a nice gap of 1.5 seconds on him, and it goes and sets the fastest lap of the race so far. And you know what's interesting? I just noticed as well that Ford and BP are not too far apart on the track, both running very similar strategy currently. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them come together later on as the race pans out. Drax having a little sniff of a move before the Villeneuve chicane, but not quite close enough to to make the move. And as they come around Tosa now, these guys are all pretty close together. This run of cars down from well, it's everyone down from Ferrari Pro to the rear of the group.
Yeah, and I feel like I wouldn't personally like to be such tight racing here. It's a lot of someone onto the grass there.
So maybe just a lapse of concentration there, or maybe a bit of lag. That was a bit odd line to take through there. So Boy picks up a penalty, 3-second penalty. What were you about to say there?
I was just going to say I wouldn't really like being in a large train around this track. I feel like it'd be similar to Canada and just hard to follow cars and get the right braking points and stuff.
Yeah, all those high-speed chicanes, tight high-speed chicanes, very hard to follow side by side through there, especially with those really nasty yellow sausage curbs. But now that group has sort of opened up a little bit, Ford's having a little look at Trikid just up ahead in P10, and he's already made quite a few positions. But now that DRS is enabled, there's a good chance here. All these guys so close together, a bit of a DRS train might develop, and it just might make it that extra bit more difficult for Ford to get his way through the pack.
Yeah, it's always pretty difficult when DRS train
falls.
Very squirrely there.
Yeah, on the outside of Piratella, just getting it, and as you see, just a car there. Zach going wide at Aqua Mineral. Yeah, he's struggling with traction, really pushing, maybe struggling a little bit with his dirty air. We're going to see him move just ahead of him, and they hold station. Trikid not looking for a move yet on Zach into the chicane of Variante Alta. So they settle back into rhythm, but that has cost Zach the DRS of the car ahead, and it's going to leave him vulnerable down the Bassa Straight. Ford having a look here. There's going to be a couple of moves potentially happening here. A lot of overspeed from these guys. Looking to the inside is Zach, and the other guys sail right around the outside. Ford right up the back of Trikid, and they both get through there.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any touching there, hopefully not, but got real close to the back of Trikid there.
Yeah, like a pretty simple move really. That DRS proving to be quite strong, and yeah, double overtake there, unfortunately, on Zach there, and he's lost out a couple of positions. Otherwise, the gap's just sort of opening up here and there, and it's sort of separating out that DRS train. It's going to make it easier for people to pick off other people instead of being one long train. BP up now into P7 as well, so he's had a good recovery from that probably poor qualifying that I'm sure he would have liked to have done a little bit better there. But yep, we'll see him move up through the grid. Ford having a look. Having a little sniff at Zach, Trikid, who's definitely going to be vulnerable now as he's 1.5 seconds behind the group in front, so we'll probably see a pretty straightforward move down here on the straight with the DRS. Bust in the chat, shout out to the Aston Martin boys. Yep, once again, those guys sitting he's looking to the inside, and like I said, pretty simple move there with the DRS, and he's going to want to hunt down the group just ahead, try and close that 1 second down so he's not vulnerable from behind.
Yeah, BP V8 there, not making his moves as quick as what Ford has been doing, so Ford's caught up a lot.
And we're going to look forward to that, because I'm sure that'll be good to watch that battle between those two guys. Looks like Drax is holding up this little group of the Alpha Tauris a little bit. Aston Martin P4, P8. So again, once again, a solid, if they can keep these positions, a solid point scoring positions from these guys. But also the Alpha Tauris, they always seem a bit more similar, I think, on track in terms of pace. Also with a double two drivers in the points at the moment. Definitely going to be vulnerable is Drax coming down coming down onto the straight. I wonder how he's been. Yeah, looks like he's been using his energy up quite a bit to stay ahead, but not getting a great exit out of there onto that curb. So you see this full group here with Ford lining up the back, and we're going to see maybe a couple of overtakes already. Ford having a look at Bags and gets past him early. Scotty down the inside into the chicane and gets the move done nice and early, a little bit wide through the section, and that's allowed Drax to make a comeback here. It's going to be too wide coming down into the Villeneuve. Oh, they give each other plenty of space. Just as I said that, Scotty's gone round, he's ghosted, and wow, I think his teammate pushed him back into line. BP's all over the back. Ford somehow got past as well. I missed that. It's all happening at this part of the track.
Yeah, just complete chaos all of a sudden. Scotty wondering whether he has damage. Seems to be going pretty slow and falling down the grid order still.
Oh, that's a real shame. Hopefully not. Yeah, they gave each other plenty of space, but Scotty just there up on the curb. I think a lack of grip, and yeah, unfortunately having gone round, not easy to get the traction down on those curbs, and just goes around. But like I said, I think his teammate just bopped him back into position, whether it was intentional or not, as BP all over the curbs. Look at this, he's going to be wanting to make a move, picking up the penalty. Oh no, BP, we don't want to see more of those penalties again, but he's looking at Ford, but Ford's got the DRS. I don't think he's going to be close enough down the straight here to make a move. BP rocking the no helmet look. We know that gives you a couple of tenths on the straight, as we've seen in the past. Ford even having a look, getting a little bit sideways on Drax there. I think getting a little bit caught out. He's going a little bit slower, and slots back into... Oh, he's made a move again. Same thing. Oh no, Ford's in the dirt, and so is Drax. Oh no, he's got back on track. I don't think he's suffered any damage. That is not very good. He was just getting caught up there, I think. Drax just going a little bit too slowly, I think, for Ford's pace, and every time getting caught in that braking zone, both at the Tamburella and the Villeneuve chicane, and yeah, just catches him out. Luckily, he's got going again without major incident, but right on the edge he was there.
Yeah, looks like, yeah, as I said, Ford going just much quicker through the corners and just got kind of caught out and had to put the car up the inside, or else he was going to just slam into the rear of him. And then, yeah, both cars touched and then just went off into the gravel.
Yeah, and Scotty, yeah, it all started really triggered from that failed overtake by Scotty, and it just bunched that pack up again, and everyone sort of wanting to look for a move. Let's just take a little look while that's settled down at the front here. I've noticed these guys are really all over the back of Plevs, very close in this train, and they're already coming up to a lapped car just ahead of CBF Rude. But it's great to see that all drivers from those incidents still in the race. That's the most important thing. But I just want to pick up as well that BP picking up penalties already, and you know, we saw that the last race, the penalties almost decided the race for us last time between BP and Ford. We hope that yeah, that's not going to be a case again, but I think, yeah, this track's quite difficult with the penalties. It's so easy to cut or go wide on those chicanes and just pick up warnings all over the place. Just push Drax straight off. Sorry, who is that, Buster? Who pushed who? Who do you reckon pushed who? Are we going to see a move for the lead? For the race, for the race lead, they're getting very close in here. Plevs is going to be 3 wide. Leo managed to get through. Is it going to be a double overtake? Not quite. Plevs holding the inside, doesn't let Ferrari Pro get through there. Change for the lead. Leo is the weirdo, currently sitting in P1. BP making a move also on the same lap with a DRS on Jays. And Silderfort picking up a penalty. It's all happening. All the action is happening at the moment. Ford also recovering a position on Silderfort from the first straight. So that DRS helping out the guys. Oh, there's a bit of battle going up at the front here. What's happened here? Leo has just dropped down. Has he made a mistake through that section, I presume? Considering he's so far off the back of these guys. Yep, definitely. Unfortunately missed that. But Ferrari Pro definitely going for that win. He's hungry after last week's DNF and not racing the week before. He's only actually finished one race so far in this season, so he's definitely going to want to finish this one and fight for the win. Just a couple of tenths between these guys, nice and close down into the Ravata, and we'll see if he can make a move for this lead through here. I think it's going to be, yep, it's pretty easy. Forward. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy with no one else there, so Plebs is going to settle in behind, but I think there's going to be a couple of moves down here as well. Zach right on the back of this group of BP leading it. He's recharging, and Jay not quite taking the move. BP sails around the outside and holds onto that position. Zach really close to the back of this group. This is another super close group, and hopefully we don't see any more incidents coming out of here. There was a couple of drivers coming off the worst from the last time they were all this close together.
Yeah, even with Leo's mistake, he was caught back into that 1 second of Plebs, showing what pace he does have. And if he didn't make that mistake, I wouldn't have been surprised if he had went and dropped Plebs and Ferrari Pro there. Yeah,
we saw a few, maybe not. Yeah, it's tricky through that section, especially with the dirty air, following these guys so close. We are definitely stuck in a DRS train with BP at the lead, and all the while this is letting those three leaders pull away, and of course costing Ford, who's stuck in a little bit further back behind Silderfort at this current moment. See how we go through here. It's going to be another scrap, I'm sure, heading down the straight. And here we go again. Battle commences down the straight. Who is going to come off best? And then the gap seemed to have opened a little bit. I think BP's really using his battery. And yeah, we keep the status quo through this section. But that was a bit of a surprise that, yeah, BP, you can see he's been using that battery to stay ahead. 5%, he is going to be in a bit of trouble on the next lap. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I figured BP would be trying to hold them off for now, because a lot of those boys are all soft runners and they should be coming into the pits within the next 4 laps. With him being on the mediums, he's in a prime position here.
Definitely, yeah, he doesn't really want to get caught up with this pack, but I feel it might be a little bit inevitable here coming up to the next DRS stage. Those curbs, really difficult. A little bit of a mistake there. Jay's just taking a little bit too much curb, just on the edge of that DRS zone, but he's pulled it back in through the Alta chicane, so he's going to have safely DRS. BP just 10%, and I definitely get a feeling he's going to be in a spot of bother coming onto this next straight now. Yeah, but Jays hasn't caught up as much as I would have thought. Maybe he's running a little bit more downforce, because he just didn't manage to close that gap that lap. Bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, it is a bit surprising. BP maybe just driving flawless, and Jay's having a couple of little mistakes throughout the rest of the lap, made a gap big enough that he could hold on to the position for this lap.
Yeah, you would have thought a 6 tenths would be within the striking distance there. So yeah, a bit of what's whilst I have not been paying attention to Ford, what has happened? He's gone for an alternate strategy here. Ford boxing to the for the hard tire. I think he was definitely getting stuck in with that traffic, and he wanted to get out of it, get some clean air, set some good lap times in, and do some sort of undercut. He's completely changed his strategy there. Not a surprise. Just yeah, I think that medium changes in the medium just did not pay off at him at all.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. It wasn't looking too bad while he was up in some positions, but just a bit of tough racing by the looks, and cost him big time.
That's right, Jamie Blanchard, Tent-Sandles, is on the comms with me today. Do you know Jamie?
Yes, I do. That is a person who I've been racing with for a long time. No longer at Race Spec anymore, but I've been racing with him since season 3.
Ah, there you go. An old friend. How come he's no longer at Race Spec?
He just decided to leave. I think he's busy doing basketball things. So he's in.
Basketball. Oh.
Yeah, very good basketball player, and is pursuing that for his career.
Look at that. Jamie, high praise from Tent there with the basketball. So he thinks very highly of you, and thanks for tuning in to this race. And hopefully Tent-Sandles does a wonderful job in the commentary and is up to your standards, Jamie. Let us know what do you think. And whilst we were chatting about that, BP succumbed to Jay's attack with that energy. Well said, Tent. He says well said. So obviously he rates your commentary skills too. Try it all over the back of Bags, looking into the Ravazza corners, but backs out of it. I thought that was a bit of a optimistic move down into Ravazza, but yeah, he backed out of that last second. Better off wait. Oh, they're in the pits. We got some guys coming into the pits. Early pit stops there from Bags and Trikid looking for undercuts. Who's that? Is that Jay? No, Jay's losing the position to. It's all happening suddenly to BP. But yeah, a couple of early pit stops. Let's change over. No, that's not what I wanted to do. To the tyres and see what's happening here. A couple of differing strategies happening. You see a yellow flag. Oh, that's just the lapped car, I believe, of CBF Rude. And lots of kisses from Jamie in the chat. And he says that you're doing well, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, a couple of we're going to see a bit of strategy coming into play now as we see Ford getting past Scotty on the straight there. Front runners not choosing to come in yet, still obviously feeling like got a pace. They've got a nice gap to BP, nice cushion of 9 seconds, so not too much to worry, I think, for those guys. Scotty. Oh, has Ford made a mistake here into the Villeneuve chicane? Because Scotty's got past him in a bit of an unconventional part of the track. And don't you say it, Kyle. There's no such thing as a commentator's curse. It has nothing to do with the fact that we're following him this weekend. It's still a long race, still a long way to go. Everything can happen. Just takes obviously that one safety car to bunch the pack up, and I'm sure that is what Ford is looking for. So you see Wogboy there making a move on Silderfort on the DRS straight as the pack really has stretched out because of the pit stops. Oh, Wogboy getting a little bit wide. Silderfort looking for the move on the inside, and has he got the job done? No, they're going side by side. Yellow flag. Oh dear. I think Wogboy has gone round there as. Did look like he left him plenty of space, and maybe just a little bit narrow on the inside of that chicane, but he gets going by the looks of it. No damage, just maybe his pride damaged slightly from that move there.
Yeah, could have been pushing just a little bit too hard there to try and get that position on those hard tyres and just didn't have enough grip.
Yes, once again, Ford's... Who's that? That's gone. CBF Rude at Aqua Minerale is that safety car. There you go. There's that safety car we were just talking about that Ford needed. And I was just about to say about Ford that pitting early and coming onto the hard tyre to change his strategy. Also to get some clean air, not working out for him because he's just stuck with Scotty, and they're having a little battle at the. It's certainly not ideal for him. I'm sure there'll be another change of strategy. As we see everybody coming into the pits almost, apart from the top guys. They missed that pit, but I think they'll still be able to manage to come in. And again, a couple of different strategies happening here. Medium tyres, soft tyres being thrown in. Going to cause a really chaotic restart. Let's have a look what Ford decides to... Yes, he's coming into the pits. Do you know what? Whilst we've got him coming into the pits there, we might see if Ford wants to jump back in and just give us a little update about how he's doing as he chooses to go on the medium tyre. Ford, are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm here, boys. How are you?
Good, we're good. Things are not currently looking like they're going your way.
No, they're not at all. Yeah, I don't know if pitting on the mediums at the start was a good idea. I think it was. I was making my way through the field nicely. Then got caught up with someone. It looked like he left space on the inside there for me. I decided to poke the nose in, and then yeah, the gap wasn't there anymore. So yeah, it's gonna be a hard race to work back, but I still don't think good results off the cards yet. Definitely points on offer. So yeah, I guess see where the race takes us.
Yeah, yeah, just look like you're getting caught out a little bit with that Aston Martin in front, with the pressure from BP from behind, and sort of stuck in that little sandwich wasn't ideal. But it's good that you kept it out of the wall and kept going. That was good to see, because
Yeah,
we'd hate to see you out of this race. Yeah.
In.
And yeah, most people choosing to go onto the medium tire. A couple of soft guys out there. BP choosing to go on the soft tire is a little bit of a nugget of information for you. Use that how you will.
Yeah.
We were keen to see the battle between you two, but unfortunately that got cut short.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the medium's going to make it to the end. I don't think they will. So expect maybe another stop, especially if there's another safety car. I think a lot of guys will chuck the soft tires on again. But yeah, see how I go on this medium stint. Hopefully, I can work my way through the field a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems pretty compressed around that P6, P5 spot.
It is. They've been nose to stern all the way through a lot of the lap. So yeah, very close battles here. It just takes one little slip up from someone, and there's just a bit of chaos that happens.
Yeah, exactly. I got wind damage before, which was the reason I chucked on the hards. Otherwise,
I see.
I would have tried to keep it on the mediums, but yeah, I was just way too slow. So
that makes a lot of sense. Alrighty, well, we'll see how you go. Good luck for the rest of the race, and yeah, hopefully things turn more into your direction.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers.
Depending on how things go, we might hear from you again.
Yep, all good. Awesome.
Okay, yeah, so that was Ford. So that was the reason for his change to the hards. I did think it was a bit odd that he changed the hard, but obviously, yeah, that little bit of wing damage costly around here. Safety car still staying out for another lap as those two guys, Scotty and Ford, catch back up to the pack. Ferrari Pro in the lead at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing well. At the lead at the moment, gets to do the safety car restart, so might lose it down the straight, but hopefully he'll hold the position.
Yeah, Buster there reckoning Ferrari Pro has been practicing a lot from last season. Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, he's just improved a lot, and that consistency is just improving all of the time. So that's great to see, battling for the front there, turning this current race into a three-way battle. But it is now a four-way battle as BP, because of that safety car, is caught up to the pack, and he's on that soft tyre. Going to be definitely making things very difficult for these front runners. They're sticking to their strategy of the medium. BP's completely out of cycle from his strategy, with their strategy, and yeah, that's definitely going to cause a lot of headaches for these three guys up front.
Yeah, I'm sure those. As you said, as G-Force Ford said, that still another pit on those mediums. So BP will definitely be pitting with those softs. So late safety car pitting onto mediums maybe for him, or he could do another softs, and he's right in there for a good chance to win here.
Yeah, we'll just quickly have a little squeeze at the penalties. Unfortunately, he's got 6 at the moment, so that might play into the race later on. Trikid with a 3, Bags with a 6, Silderfort with a 9, and Wogboy with a 3 second, as the safety car is announced to be coming in this lap. So we will see how Ferrari Pro just chooses to restart this race. Plevs chose to go quite early, coming out of the last corner, which actually worked out okay for him. So we'll see how this goes for Ferrari Pro. When will he decide to go? Taking it nice and easy around the last Ravazza. Not gone yet. I think he's gone. Yep, he's gone. Plevs is right on the back of him, though, and didn't really get away probably as much as he wanted. Big gap further down. I'm not sure what happened there. Plevs looking for a move on the outside. And, yeah, Ferrari Pro defending that pretty easily on the inside. He's got just a little bit offline. Is he going to try and look for a move now coming into the Villeneuve chicane? Plave's looking at the inside, not going to be close enough, settles in behind, and we see Leo and BP also having a little bit of a battle there in the background. BP all over the back, around the outside of the toast. Hairpin, not quite managing to pull it off. BP needs to get those moves done as soon as possible.
Yeah, not many position changes from this safety car restart. But boys keeping it clean.
Yeah, we saw the Aston Martins there just switch position around there through this section. Ford's just stuck in the back already, having made the move on Scotty and got past him. And yeah, see a few no real gaps opening apart from the front group, just getting away a little bit. But I think BP made a small mistake there because he's just dropped off the back. And Jay's looking for a move on the outside down into the first Ravazza. BP absolutely just cuts him off on the exit there, which he's entitled to do, leaving him no space and on the exit, and yeah, that just defending that position.
Yeah, slams the door on him. You are not having this position, he says.
Yep, ambitious move down the outside. Would have been pretty amazing had he pulled it off. And Ford making up another place there on Wogboy as he gets past. Positions at the front unchanged, just a few of the gaps starting to open up a little bit, and once that DRS is re-enabled in the next lap or so, we'll definitely see some more moves on these positions. These guys sort of just settling in behind each other, quite difficult to overtake it seems without the DRS. That's Ford there sitting in P12 down into the Aqua Minerale section. Wogboy very close up to the back of him, not wanting to let him get away. Scotty's not had a great restart, has he? Still sitting in that final position of P14. Race Spec scoring all the way down to 15. And Mr. Alex in the chat there, a bit of some strong words for BP. Not quite sure on his move. I thought that was a fair enough move there, coming around the outside. He sort of entitled to not let him get past, as he did have the inside. But yep, I'm sure if that is something that needs to be looked at, the stewards will be taking a look at that if it is indeed necessary. No contact made. That's the most important thing, I would say. How are you doing, Alex? There. How come you're not racing today? BP 2/10 off, and just hasn't been able to get past Leo, has he? And Ferrari Pro also, I mean, Pleb's also behind Ferrari Pro. Those positions and change, but I'm sure when we see DRS activated, that these things will start to change, as they've almost opened up a 2-second gap now to the cars behind. The front group pulling away slightly from the main pack. Ford looking for a move. He's right on the back of this. And an Aston Martin sandwich getting a little bit sideways. He's already had a few incidents with these Aston Martins. And, yep, has already made the move down before Ravazza. So good job there. Oh, gets maybe a little bit of a touch in the back there from Drax as he outbroke himself. But otherwise, they make it through that section. And he just managing to stick with the DRS of Silderfort in back. Ah, yes, I remember you saying you're in Italy. You must be. Are you not far? How close are you to the track? Maybe you can run down and have a look at the action on track there, Alex. GG's, he says to everybody. BP got past whilst I was looking at Ford. BP making the move on Leo with the DRS. Ah, yes, Alex. I thought I saw you in the grandstand there on the main straight. I thought I recognised you. Yeah, we'll wave by. Give us a wave next time when the cars come past on the main straight, please. And who are you supporting today? Ford there, picking up a time penalty. That's not ideal. It's actually been. Ooh, that's an Aston Martin. Bags kept it just out of the wall, I think, as he comes out through Aqua Mineralis again. Yeah, just very easy to do that in that section. I wonder if we can get a good angle of his front wing. It looks intact. So maybe he's just got away with that one. Yeah, Drax is racing. I have not had the privilege of running into him before, so I have no idea who he is. But maybe you can fill us in, Alex. Yeah, he's in the Aston Martin at the moment. Plevs making a move for the lead, gets it done with the DRS. I told you things were going to start to shake up when that DRS has activated. And Alex there supporting Mr. Ford. We've been following Mr. Ford. I don't know if you've just tuned in, we've had a few interviews with him. Leo picking up a penalty, and I'm sure we'll be getting Ford back on the in the comm box with us and hearing his perspective on how things are going. As Bags is in the pits, maybe he did have damage. Bit of a slow pit stop, changing onto the medium tyre there. Yeah, you can see the bit of sideways movement from the cars as they go light through that section. Very, very tricky section, but BP on the back of Ferrari Pro, a couple of tenths, and I definitely foresee a bit of action coming down onto this main straight now. They're both going to have the DRS. Silderfort also, maybe keep an eye on Silderfort on the back of Trikid also, but yes, DRS open down in the main straight. Plev setting the fastest lap. BP quite far off the back of these guys. Used up, and Ferrari looking for a move on Plevs. Gets the job done. I think, yeah, it's going to be a bit of that, isn't it? A bit of back and forth between these guys. Whoever's in the lead is going to have the disadvantage. BP having a look at Plevs. These guys have had a little bit of history together. Hopefully they can keep it clean in this race.
Yeah, I definitely think these boys will be trading positions a lot throughout this race on that back straight. Leo's caught up due to that little squabble, but seems like a lot of the boys are running super low on ERS.
Was that Trikid just ghosting? That was a bit odd. But Ford making up another place now into P8. That's weird. Trikid keeps ghosting. Maybe he's got some connection issues or something. Yep, Ford up into P8, so making a good recovery there. BP picking up another penalty, and that's gonna. I think it's going to be the bane of his races at the moment. Those penalties, just really costing him because he's got a lot of pace, but yeah, penalties. Not
yeah, starting
ideal.
to become a bit of a trend there for BP. Picked up lots of penalties last week, already starting to pick up a couple. Might just need to settle down a little bit and try and keep it clean. Is he going to make a move on Ferrari here? He is. And the move's clean. Look at that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, double overtake there. Ferrari Pro losing out quite a bit. But I don't think they'd be too concerned at this point. I think they're going to be training positions now for the rest of the laps to come. Obviously BP wants to get to the front. He wants to unleash that soft tyre and pull a gap out, because obviously the medium tyres are going to have that longevity over the soft tyre. No doubt BP will having to pit again. And what do you reckon? Mediums to the end?
Yeah, I reckon.
Really?
I reckon, yeah, mediums to the end probably. Unless if I don't know, it could be late. They could stick it out and try and wait for a late safety car, but the mediums seem to have good pace.
Yeah, indeed they do, and Ford is going to be looking to gain some more positions on this straight, but we'll watch the front pack as they come down the straight and then switch to him after they've gone through the first bits. And BP looking to the inside here, and yeah, gets a job done pretty easily, pretty quickly through there. But Ferrari Pro also looking, that's not a great spot there, round the outside of Plevs. Oh yeah, had to move onto the curves there. It's just, yeah, it's not ideal going through that section side by side. It's not a place you really want to do that. Got to get that move done early. Ford already made up that one position there, not quite close enough on Jace to make that position.
Yeah, BP finally getting to the front of the pack on those softs. Got some clean air. Should see some blisteringly quick laps from him.
Yeah, as long as he hasn't wasted that soft tyre too much, you reckon about 20 laps on that soft tyre of the best, and he's already halfway through that stint, so he may have just taken a little bit too long for him to get through that pack. Ferrari also now a second. He's just dropped off a little bit off Plebs. It's going to leave him very vulnerable coming down the straight. And Ford's all over the back of Jay's coming down into the Ravazzas. It almost looked like he wanted to go for a move before, but I'm sure he's going to settle in behind him, wait for the DRS and get the move done nice and easily. Yes, those second gaps opening up. Ferrari Pro is going to be, I think it's going to be a slam dunk for Ford, but Ferrari Pro is going to be in a bit of trouble here. He doesn't have the DRS from the car in front. Is Leo going to be not quite close enough? And now it's a 1.5 second gap that's opened up Ford, obviously getting past miles before the corner. Easy done for him. Yeah, Ferrari Pro's dropped off the back of these two front guys.
Yeah, wondering whether there was maybe a little bit of damage with the contact between Ferrari and Leo. Maybe he's got a bit of side pod damage, or maybe it's just out of rhythm.
Yeah, he definitely did put him off a little bit, having to take that avoiding action onto the curbs. I'm sure he won't be happy about that, but yeah, it was a little bit risky, always having to try and make going through that too wide through that section. How are these guys doing? Yeah, Silderfort's right at the back of Karma. Let's have a little look at this other pack that we've got going on here. This is a very close battle. It's sort of separated out into two packs. This front pack and this second pack. But lots of good battles happening down here too. Let's pay a little bit of attention to these guys. It's not always about the action at the front, especially since that is separated out a little bit. They're going to stay the same through the first corner, but a bit of weaving going on there from Karma. Which side did he... really committing to a side again. Pretty similar move. As we had with Ferrari and Plevs, just trying to go side by side and just not working out, and it's really just cost them a bit. Just with the pack in front, Silverfort on the soft tyre, a little bit impatient, wanting to get past. That's allowed Drax to try and make a have a little look around the outside, and also Wog Boys all in this action. Just takes one little mistake in that pack from the car in front, and suddenly the cars behind you are all over you.
Yeah, I'm sure Silverfort's getting a little bit frustrated, getting held up by Karma. He's on those softs, wants to use them. Ooh, Drax getting it all wrong there and had to cut the track. Didn't see any warnings or anything for him, so hopefully it's all good.
Yes, Silderfort still on the back of Karma, looking for this position. Is he going to make it this time round? Wasn't close enough. He gets that on nice and early, gets a fantastic exit, and definitely going to get that move done nice and early this time round. He's ready for that, and yeah, gets it done miles before the corner. It's Karma just having a little look there. And oh, Silderfort's gone a little bit wide. It's going to allow Karma to have a little look. Gets a penalty as well for his troubles. And now Karma not quite close enough to the back of Silderfort to have a look. I think that soft tire advantage just enough to keep him ahead through there, and moves up into P8. Wogboy having a little look as well. He wants to get in on this action. But yeah, you're gonna really struggle to make a move through this part of the track, unless it's from a defense. Ferrari Pro back at the front there. What just happened there? My intervals I've got picked up a timing glitch here. Lost my intervals. That's a bit bizarre. Alright, we're going to have to pay extra careful attention. I might put it on... it's weird, it's not... that's a slight worry. Okay, here we go. We've got some times coming back in now. Maybe a small glitch on our end. Leo making a move on Ferrari, gets through. Did I just see it ghost then for a second?
Yeah, I do believe I saw some ghosting just then.
Wonder if there's not some kind of connection issue happening as we get all of our deltas back on the screen here. And yeah, Karma all over the back. Wogboy getting through, getting past Karma, and yeah, Karma sort of dropping off a little bit on that medium tire. We have got Ford leading this second pack now, 5 seconds off the front group, And now that Leo has got past Ferrari Pro, I wonder if Ferrari Pro just sort of dropped off that pace a bit, and see if Leo can catch back up to the front guys. Plebs keeping tabs with him too. Just give me, maybe you just take over for a second, 10. Just give me a second.
Yep. BP being able to, well, not being able to gap Plebs, unfortunately. Plebs just hanging with him this whole time on those softs. I'm sure that DRS on the back straight's helping a lot, and his ERS is relatively low, but a lot of the boys' ERS is low.
Hey Roscoe, thanks for that. Yeah, I haven't
Ferrari
experienced that
Pro
before.
made a move, just making a move on Leo there.
Yeah, it looks like we're bouncing around a little bit here. Maybe something has happened a little bit with the connection. Hopefully, it doesn't cause any issues. How are you doing anyway, Roscoe? Who are you supporting today? Bit janky, isn't it? But something to let's have a little talk about Scotty. He's not really pulled through the pack, has he? As we might have expected. You know, he was on that similar strategy as Ford, and then just hasn't really been able to pull through. I wonder if he's just not got quite as much confidence on this track as some of the others.
Yeah, probably trying to avoid picking up penalties as well. And I think that is probably a good thing to do if there is a late safety car again that we have seen very often in the endurance series. He should be able to jump up a lot of spots.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hallmark trade, isn't it? Here at Endurance, as we see Wogboy making the move on Jays pretty easily with the aid of GRS Silderfort. Also having a look, he's going to try again. He keeps trying that move around the outside of turn 3, and it just does not work out for him on that, just bouncing along the curves. I think he's getting maybe a little bit frustrated as Silderfort just can't get past. Look at him all over the back of Jays, really applying that pressure, but cannot find a way through no matter how hard he tried.
Yeah, seems to be wanting to maximize those soft tires before they go off, so trying to make as many moves as he can as quick as possible, but he's got to remember that he's got to keep it clean and try and not DNF his own race.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Right, keeping an eye on things here. Here, do you mean as in endurance? And yes, good. Keep an eye on us. Make sure we're not doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. Ferrari Pro on the back of Leo is a weirdo, and yeah, these guys have just dropped off, haven't they? That's not. I wonder if that's for everyone. He's getting that lag because Leo is bouncing around a little bit. We saw he did have like 1 bar of connection in the lobby. Gets the move done fairly straightforward. Plev's also getting the move done for the race lead on BP. I just wonder, are BP's tires starting to go off a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about. Those softs might just quickly fall off, and I know the mediums just seem to hold their pace really well.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting another pit stop from BP, and if the soft runners don't pit, I think that's really going to cost BP a lot, as that's a bit of an unconventional place for a move. Ferrari Pro and Leo having a little go around down past Peripatella. I think Leo is lagging a little bit here, which is not ideal for those battling. Ooh, it's a bit off-putting watching that. I'm going to stick for off-board shots in the moment. Silderford still trying to get past Jays. Zach there picking up a penalty, but yeah, Silderford just can't seem to get past these guys. Can he on that soft tire? Just, oh, what's that yellow flag? BP's gone round on the last couple of corners. That's BP gone round. And gets going. I think he's kept it out of the wall. I doubt we'll see straight away if he comes in the pits. Getting caught out maybe on the aging soft tyre.
Yeah, possibly easy corner 2, lose the rear end there. You can get a bit of oversteer. Silverfort finally making that move that he really wanted. Yeah, and I'm sure that those softs going off didn't help.
Definitely not, and that's really put a dent in his move up the grid today for BP. And let's mention Ford now. He's up into P4, so he's doing a great job there, just trying to close that gap down to the front guys, sitting around that 5-second mark at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Drax and BP picking up another penalty now. We'll have a little squiz at the penalty situation. 15 seconds for BP. I mean, along with that spin and the penalties, that's going to be a pretty painful combination for him there.
Yeah, most certainly. But I'm sure that the boys that don't have any penalties yet are a bit happy with that, because they'll be licking their lips. Ooh, extra position.
Exactly that, especially like you said earlier, if we get that last safety car that we often do in this tier. But there's quite a few guys without penalties actually at this stage of the race, 2/3 of the way through, and there's a good healthy group of cars as we see Drax looking for a move on Jays. Pretty easily done down into what is actually turn 2, not turn 1. And yeah, gets the job done there with the aid of the DRS helping overtakes around here today. Karma in P11 looking for a move, looking for a way past Jays. Sort of just sitting, he's been sitting just comfortably in that sort of around that area for most of the race. And Scotty, yeah, just like we said before, just not able to just move up the grid like he might have wanted to. That gap to from Ford to Leo is coming down ever so slightly here and there. Ferrari Pro not able to close the gap on Plebs at the moment.
Yeah, with BP being the only one that was right next to Plebs. Oh, who's that? That is BP going around again on the same place. Maybe those tyres are really starting to go off. Will we see him go into the pits this time?
Surely not. He's still going. The tenacity, got to give him that. He's still going. But yeah, this has now gone from bad to worse for him. Yeah, that's a real shame, because we were kind of relishing that fight with him and the guys at the front. So it's always sort of sad to see a contender go down like that. At least he's still in the race, and you never know with the safety car, everything could change and he could be back in contention 100%. Karma, a couple of tenths off Jays at the moment, under pressure, as that BP spin has bumped him up to P10. Race Spec scoring all the way up to 15, so all these guys, as long as they finish, will be picking up points today, as we see Trikid coming into the pits for a fresh set of medium tyres.
Yeah, I'm sure Trikid will run those mediums to the end. Probably looking for a safety car as well as Trikid, so get back on the pack and then try and make some positions back up.
Indeed, and you know what? I might just have a little look at BP as he comes around these last couple of corners. Just see how he goes around the Ravatas. Just see with these old tyres. Gets through there much more cleanly, so obviously not making any mistakes. We see a couple of position changes up here. Karma getting past Jays for P9. And Silderfort still looking at making up some positions on that soft tyre. And yeah, I wonder how much longer that soft tyre will last now.
I wouldn't expect it to last super long now. Normally you'd only run it to about lap 20 as maximum, but I'm sure you could run it an extra, I reckon an extra 3 laps.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be seeing those guys come in fairly soon, and I'm sure it'll be, well, they could probably run the softs if they got any spare sets to the end from here quite comfortably. Sector 2, oh, is that BP again? He is having an absolute nightmare at the minute. What is going on? It's just it's just crumbling at the moment. Hopefully, I'm sure he's that will have really done damage to his tyres. I'm sure he'll be coming in the pits this lap, or if not the next one. Silderfort not close enough really to Drax at the moment. These guys really using up their energy. We saw that earlier as well, with BP just using up maybe too much energy to defend, and then just once you do that and you lose all of it, you just you cannot defend down that straight at all, and you become a sitting duck.
Yeah, BP not pitting this lap. Maybe next lap. Don't know how much longer he can risk to stay out on those softs.
Yeah, it's probably not really necessary. Whoa, Silverfort. Oh, what a close moment of Piratella there, getting onto that curb. And a little bit sideways. What a catch from him, I have to say. Because that was probably, you know, heart in your mouth kind of moment there.
Yeah, most certainly. Very nice catch there. I would have shit myself pretty much if I was in the car at that time.
And he went wide at the very end to Alta as well, so I wonder if also he's struggling. Well, I'm sure he's struggling on that soft tyre. He's fallen off the back of Drax. Yeah, he's coming in that picks. Yep, I'm not surprised. A sign from there. Ferrari Pro, their position trying to, yep, just back in P3. Leo is a weirdo moving up into P2. And does BP come in this lap? That's the question.
Yeah. You'd assume he would. Silverfort chucking on those fresh softs as well. Take those to the end. BP is finally pitted.
Yep. I wonder if how many pairs of softs he's got left to throw onto that car. Probably not any fresh ones, you would imagine, considering he started on the softs.
It'll be a bit interesting. He didn't do many runs in the quali, I don't think, so he might have a couple fresh pairs left.
Yep. Ferrari Pro, yeah. Plebs currently walking away with this one. A 3-second gap from him to Leo is a weirdo. So Ferrari Pro didn't really seem to have the pace to respond to that, and I don't think Leo is either. Especially this fighting between the two is certainly not helping their chances at going for the lead, and definitely helping Plebs. Ferrari Pro looking down the inside, getting onto the dirt a little bit there, gets the job done pretty simply down into turn 2 at the Tamburello chicane.
Yeah, these two boys keep trading places. I'm wondering whether one of them would decide maybe I should stick behind and we can see if we can catch Plebs, but I'm sure Ferrari won't want to be the one behind. Ooh, sends it up the inside here, Leo.
Oh!
Whoa!
I thought that was the lag in the wall. They're going to go side by side at Piratella. Oh, my lord. Keep it together. They keep... Oh, my God. Are they going to continue down here into Aqua Minerales? Yes, they do. That's a terrible camera angle. Please give me a better one. Where did Leo, I think, conceded that position to Ferrari, not wanting to. As we go past a car, a slow-moving car. I think that was Tri-Kid. I saw there was a yellow flag. He's just moving very slow. I think he's lapped as well, so that doesn't help. But yeah, some great racing from those two there, even with the lag.
Yeah, as I was going to state though, that I'm sure Ferrari Pro wants to be ahead of Leo, as he has. Leo does seem to be lagging on our screen, and I'm assuming that he would be lagging in the race too, and would not want to be following that car closely. Yeah,
not particularly. That little battle which is continuing, Leo getting past again. These guys just trading positions. I think well, that last lap, that little tussle cost them a second on Plebs, and conversely allowed Ford to catch up by a second too. So I think they're really focusing now just between themselves, this battle, and probably a little bit frustrating for Ferrari Pro, especially considering Leo's got that penalty. They're losing touch with the front. Who's that? That's gone off. That's strike it into the wall at the first chicane. DNF. I wonder if we can see where he is parked up there on the right hand side. Probably lost it on that curb there on the outside. And yellow flag, but no safety, no virtual as of yet. Another timing glitch has happened here. Yeah, so they're not really going to be looking forwards. I think they might have to start looking backwards if they continue battling at this pace, because it's going to allow Ford to catch up.
Yeah, I'm sure Ford's hoping that they continue their battle. He's been sitting about a 5-second gap for a fair while now, and would probably love to catch him.
Yep, Ferrari Pro getting the move done fairly early again, which is quite standard as we've seen so far. Look at the G-Force boys. Ford, Wogboy and Zach sitting here pretty in 4th, 5th and 6th. Let's have a look what their penalties are. 3, 3 and 8. So Zach sitting, unfortunately, he's got the worst end of the deal there. And I wouldn't be surprised if these guys sort of race a little bit smart and try and catch up to the pack. But yeah, Ford's not really looking like he's got as much of that pace today that we've seen in previous races, does he?
Yeah, he could be taking it just a little bit easy. Oh, as he loses the rear end there, did he catch it?
Sorry, I switched. He did not. He did not. He did not.
He's gone.
I was looking at the track map, seeing what was happening to, I think it was Silderford and the Red Bull, and whilst I was doing that, missed that with Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that's not ideal for him. Luckily, he's kept it out of the wall and kept it going. Not been too much damage, but definitely cost him that that sort of front position up there at the moment.
Yeah, rear end just stepping out there, and he's gone into the pits.
So Ford obviously thinking that the medium tyre is not going to go to the end. Again, choosing to pit early, going to the soft tyre, making a little bit of a gamble here. He's going to be hoping that everyone else is going to be pitting too on that medium tyre, otherwise he's thrown that one away. And yeah, really hoping that everyone else is pitting. So we're yet to see if that is going to be the case with less than 20 laps to go. Will these guys try and stick it out to the end? If they don't, Ford is going to be looking very good with an undercut on that soft tyre. But if they stay out, he's going to be in a spot of bother.
Yeah, the mediums you normally take about 24 laps, so they're stretched from 20 some. Most of the boys stretch to 26 at the moment, so we should see some pit stops, I reckon. I don't think they will be able to run these to the end.
You don't? That's another 15 laps, so... Yeah, it's a bit of an ask. 15, that's quite a lot of laps, so maybe Ford's move there has actually been an incredibly smart one. We've yet to see how that pans out for them. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back at that one. These gaps opening up a little bit. Currently, the main on-track action between Leo Isowido and Ferrari Pro. Those guys trading blows. Ford picking up another penalty. That's not good for him. If we have a look here at the gaps, Ferrari, even though these guys are battling away, they've closed that gap down to Plevs. Plevs' pace has just started to go off a little bit. I know he's got a comfortable lead, but can't afford to get too complacent.
Yeah, hopefully those boys don't keep battling, because they might start to lose it, but yeah, they have been able to maintain that gap.
Yeah, they obviously think that I'm faster than you, and no, you're faster than me. But that Leo dropping out that 1 second. Is he going to miss out on the DRS this lap? Yeah, coming up to that line, he's just over a second. Ferrari Pro suddenly seeming to have pace. Just he's pulled it out, pulled the gap on Leo, and decreased his gap on Plevs. What's a bit of a turn of pace here?
Yeah, Ferrari maybe starting to find a bit of a rhythm. Maybe the tyres are hitting a bit of a second wind for him, and he's feeling a bit more comfortable on them. But yeah, got some good pace at the moment.
All those top guys using almost all of their battery. In fact, pretty much everybody's got almost no battery left at all. Been hitting that hard to pick up those gaps. And yeah, currently we don't really have anybody that's close to us. We see an Aston Martin. Who's that? That's Bags going around on the exit of turn 13. Keeps it out of the wall, I think. Yes, no damage, so it keeps it going. That's good to see. And what was I about to say about people? But yeah, the gaps have opened up here, and I do think we're going to see another pit stop on the cards at this stage.
Yeah, a lot of boys making some mistakes a bit at the moment, so we could potentially see another safety car here.
Yep, you know what it's like here down at the endurance tier. We see that safety car. It rears its ugly head as the fatigue begins to creep in this endurance race. These guys have been going for about an hour now. Bit of fatigue, one little lapse of judgment, round on a curb into a wall, and that a safety car can be triggered, and that will reset this whole race. So well, hopefully I'm sure a lot of these guys will not want to see a safety car, but I'm sure plenty of the pack, probably down from 6th, 7th downwards, will be happy to see a safety car close that and give them another chance at, as we see Ford on that soft tyre, showing he has the pace with the 1:16 dead.
Yeah, a lot of the gaps throughout the field has opened up. They've generally been within that second range, but they're all about 2.5 now. So field spreading apart just a little bit, and I'm assuming the boys just thinking about themselves at this point. Try and keep it clean and finish that race.
Might put the standings up for you guys again, just to have a little look while there's not too much going on the track. And yeah, it's going to be a good if Plev's going to hold on to this, an absolutely ideal finish for him for the championship, and not a great day for Ford, currently sitting in P10. Both the Aston Martins once again finishing with some points, but also the Alpha Tauris, both of those finishing in the in points. Also looking like a good day for, as we see Drax coming in for a change of tyre. And that front wing is very dirty. He's been on the in the wars a little bit, I think, there. And yeah, onto that soft tyre. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more starting to follow suit now. I doubt many will risk it. Ford setting another fastest lap with a 16, marginally improving his lap time. Yeah, and also for the Alpines, very strong finish for them. And then finally for the Ferraris, great finish for them currently with a P2 and a P4. But still 10 laps to go, just over 10 laps.
Yeah, just over 10 laps, as you said. Ferrari Pro, I'm sure, is trying to hunt down Plebs here. We'll really be wanting that P1 after what happened last week with his not a very good race. He said to us that he is looking for that win. So hopefully we can see a good battle between them two.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely fantastic to see. He's used absolutely all of his battery, 0%. I don't think I've ever done that. I've never seen it say 0. And yeah, absolutely not afraid to give everything possible. He's leaving nothing on the table, pushing hard his Ferrari Pro, and I'm sure Plevs is conscious of that gap, watching that delta. And yeah, entering the closing stages in this race, they'll be starting to feel a bit of pressure. Ferrari Pro, I'm sure, is no longer looking backwards with the penalties, but rather looking forwards towards players as that gap continues to come down. 2.4 seconds from the original 5 that it was at. A little bit of a moment coming through Piratello there. Bit of a sideways action. Don't want to do that too often. And he can see and Leo there picking up another penalty. This is really going to start to affect things in the closing stages of this race. But yeah, you can see that gap coming down, and I'm sure that is urging Ferrari Pro on as he chops another couple of tenths out through the mid part of this lap, and he can see Plevs just ahead of him, and he's thinking, I can see that car getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm sure Plevs is looking in the mirrors as that scarlet red Ferrari is getting slightly, look at him using absolutely all of the track is Ferrari Pro, squeezing every last tenth out.
Yeah, the boys still running those same mediums that they pitted onto earlier. They're getting pretty worn, I would assume, but he seems pretty comfortable on them. So we'll see if they actually do need to make another pit stop or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's like less than 10 laps now. I can't see anybody wanting to come in for a pit stop now, especially unless their tires are really, really on the ragged edge, you know, around that 70% wear amount, when there's the chance of a chance of a puncture happens. Then they're not going to really want to pit, are they, at this late stage?
No, they sure wouldn't. But with that, of course, their grip on that tyre will become lower, and we might see an incident from it.
I just also Silderfort there, 35 seconds of penalties, BP27. I'm not sure what I've not seen it yet, and hopefully we won't see it, but I wonder what the maximum amount of penalties you can have on a endurance. That's something I'm going to have a look into, because we see a couple of drivers with the Silderfort coming into the pits there also. 1.9 seconds, that gap just continuously coming down every lap, just bit by bit by bit. I'm not sure Plebs has quite got an answer to Ferrari Pro's pace at this current stage.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Plebs is thinking. Maybe he's going to chill out and save a bit of ERS, so when he does catch him, he can just chill and defend. Or if he's just like, I got to push, keep him out of that DRS. Oh, Silderfort having another moment there.
Yeah, maybe on that coming out on that fresh tyre, sort of not had a chance to warm up. Very easy just to spool them round on a curb. And yeah, this gap coming down again. I don't know. What do you do? Do you use all the bad? Because once you're in DRS, is going to be, they're both, you know, they're both in a pretty similar situation in terms of their energy. It's not probably going to make that much of a difference. He's better trying to keep him out of the DRS range, because once he gets within that 1 second, you would have thought that it's going to be pretty much game over for Plebs.
Yeah, most certainly. I'd same train of thought here. I think that, yeah, as soon as he gets in that DRS with that very long straight, you just gain too much time, the DRS followers do. So it'd just be push, try and keep him out of that as long as you possibly can.
Yep, and again, chipping away those tents is Ferrari Pro. Scotty also 1.5 seconds likewise behind his teammate. I wonder if we'll see any team orders there, if they'll just hold station or they'll go for the move. Neither of those guys have penalties. Scotty having a very clean drive this weekend. Karma also along with the ones with no penalties. Drax, Ferrari Pro and Plebs. Everybody else on the board with penalties. We have lost 4 drivers today, racing up to the Tinselman, CBF Root and Tri-Kid. So we've done pretty well with DNFs today. Kept quite a lot of drivers compared to that very difficult race they had last week in Melbourne in the wet. Scotty there now within DRS, so we might just have a little look-see at this battle whilst we watch that gap of Ferrari Pro just slowly chipping away. And I'm sure Scotty will be going for the move. These guys likewise with their energy lower. Scotty has managed to save a little bit more than his teammate, so I wonder if these guys will won't defend too hard coming through this final part. Just don't want to throw it all away in these last stages. They've made it almost to the end of this race. It would be such a shame to do anything silly now. Just keep it clean, and yeah, I think it's going to be pretty easy maneuver here. Gives him plenty of space, gets past just across the finishing line, and that's the job done there for Scotty, who's now up into P7. And how the turn have tables, really. I mean, we were saying how Scotty just wasn't able to get through the pack like Ford was, but he finds himself in front of Ford at this stage of the race.
Yeah, Scotty doing pretty well there. Keeping low penalties as well. Would hope that he could catch up and get in that gap for G4 Sack's penalties.
Yeah, speaking of Ford, he has closed up to this pack as well, so maybe that was quite crucial for Scotty to get past, because he saw in his mirrors that Mercedes, that black Mercedes, just catching up every single lap. Ford hot on, yeah, he's got pace in the moment and he's pushing hard. He's gonna have to make another 6 seconds, of course, after this due to those penalties, unless he can get one of them removed. But yeah, all over the back of Jay's. But Jays is going to have the DRS from Scotty in front too, so this move maybe is not going to be as easy as he would hope. Silderfort getting the fastest lap, 50. Look at that, Scotty. I mean, Ford already looking for the move straight away and pulls out. Can't. Yes, he does have a bit more speed than they touch wheels a little bit. Jay's giving him the minimum amount of space, but he has the inside, does forward through that section and gets the job done. Touching upon the gap between Plevs and Ferrari Pro, it's just opened up that little bit. Maybe that just that dirty air. Once you get into with around this sort of 1.5 seconds, the dirty air starts to affect the cars a little bit more, and Ferrari Pro just struggling a little bit there. It's, especially on those old tyres, just tricky, especially through that like middle part of the track, Aqua Minerale in particular.
Yeah, Ford seeming to have a lot of pace there on the softs compared to the old medium runners. I'm sure that he's going to try and get past Scotty as quick as possible here.
Yeah, and open up that 6-second gap, which I reckon he could probably do. He's got a few laps left in the tank. So, see that a little bit of a lift there, and braking early to make sure that he stays behind him. Did he lift a little bit too much there? Maybe, but no, he's got a good exit coming out of here, using those soft tyres to his full advantage. BP picking up another 3-second penalty there. Scotty is going to be a sitting duck on this straight. They've both got a bit of energy. Scotty, gets past him nice and easy. And Drax also, see 2 overtakes on this main straight. Drax getting past Jay, so quite a few sudden position changes in these closing stages of the race. Good points for Aston Martin there. I'm sure Busty will be happy to see that. And yeah, now Ford just have to pick up that 6-second gap to hold on to the position, because all of these guys are very close behind him, and if he doesn't make that gap there, then he is going to just plummet back down behind them.
Yeah, Ferrari Pro hasn't made as much gain as he probably wanted. He's only 3/10 off that DRS though, so hopefully he can get that within the next couple laps.
Yeah, we'd love to see a last couple of lap battle for the lead. That would be great. And Drax sitting behind Scotty there also. You know, you don't want to make that move before the Ravazza, because the DRS detection zone, that is that line just there before the Ravazza won at turn 17. Sit behind them, get the DRS, and then overtake on the straight. That's the way you want to do it, and that is the way that Drax is going to get past Scotty to grab P8. But I'm sure this battle is probably not going to be over, because I don't think Scotty is going to want to give that position up too lightly. I think maybe he realises with Ford that he doesn't have the pace, but I'm sure he's going to want to fight this position back.
Yeah, looks like again through that DRS zone, the boys not using their ERS for the overtake or for defending, so just saving it a little bit by the looks for the closing stages of the race.
Pro tantalisingly close to the DRS detection. Look at that 1.1 through the Ravazzas. Just not close enough. Maybe Lex, he's going to have a better slipstream though. And Plevs is definitely going to be conscious of that gap. He does pick up extra time down the straight. I wonder if there's a little bit of difference in the choice of wing level. And Plevs come in. He just does not want Ferrari Pro to have that DRS, because he knows if that happens, then he is going to be in big trouble. Gap has opened up a little bit. It's just tenths. They're playing with tenths through this lap, and it is going to, every little bit of time they can stretch out is going to count. And yeah, the gap is back and opened up 1.3 seconds down to 1.2. We're going to be watching that delta ever so closely as the gaps between Ford, Drax and Scotty have opened up. No one seeming to have an answer as Jays has dropped right off. He's come into the pits. Oh no! Ferrari's gone a little bit sideways through Aqua Minerale, and that's going to cost him a lot through... It hasn't actually cost him as much as I thought it would, only a tenth or two. Maybe we saw a similar mistake and Ferrari Pro picking up a penalty. It's all just falling apart as the pressure is mounting in these last couple of laps. But it is certainly not over till it's over. There's still 2 laps left in this race as Plevs crosses the finishing line now to start the penultimate lap. 1.2 seconds. It's still all to play for, and Ferrari knows that, and he's going to push every little last bit, as you can see him draining the battery down to 0% on the straight.
Yeah, Scotty made a mistake there by the looks and is dropped off the back of Drax, unfortunately there.
That is going to be music to Ford's ears, because that penalty is no longer going to sink him down to P9, and currently he'll be looking at P8 finish, unless he's looking at getting any of those removed, but I doubt it with this track, because I think most of the penalties are pretty slam dunk, aren't they, around here?
Yep, for sure. Then you go off the track, it's pretty obvious, and it's just a bit easy to go off the track here and pick up those penalties.
Yeah, that's just taking the little bit of pressure off. Plevs has that mistake from Ferrari Pro, and of course the penalty, because Plevs knows now, even if he overtakes him, that he's still got plenty of time to play with. A buffer of 3 seconds forward, picking up another penalty. I think he's still going to be safe to Scotty and Jays, so it's not too much of a drama as we come on to the final lap. Plevs just pulling an extra bit of gap, and he just looks to be cool, calm, under control. Ferrari Pro, you can just see a little chink in his armor on that couple of laps beforehand when he's made that little mistake, and that's really just cost him the race win there.
Yeah, Plebs being able to stay nice and calm under the pressure that Ford is putting up. And who is this going through? Karma. Very nice, beautiful little easy move along the DRS straight.
Yeah, he was already in front of Ford, so I'm not sure if he'd made a mistake somewhere, but yeah, Ford right up on the back of him. And yeah, Plevs looks like he's got this one under control as they're coming round the Variante Alta, heading down into the Rivazzas to finish off the lap. And we might just sit on board here from Ferrari as we see another yellow flag sector one. I think it's just lapped cars. And we're going to see Plevs come across the line now, and he's weaving in joy, and it was a well-fought, hard-earned P1 from him. Ferrari Pro grabbing P2. What a sad moment. He stops on line. That probably wasn't super smart with that penalty, but I think he still manages to hold on to that position there. Wogboy coming across the line. I think he's going to hold that P4 for Ferrari. Great finish from his into the wall there. Great finish from him. And Zach there with a large penalty. I think that has promoted Karma up to P5 and demoted, and also Drax. There's all kinds of shenanigans happening here. I think there was a lot of frustration from a bunch of the drivers, and definitely from Ford. That's 2 weekends in a row where it's just not quite gone his way with that mistake at the end of the last race in the wet, and also just the bit of up and down he's had throughout this section, and yeah, not ideal from him. I wonder if we can get him, if he's happy enough to come into the chat. I might try him and see if he's happy for a little conversation here. Are you there, Ford?
Yeah, I'm here, boys, yeah.
Yes, we saw that following that progress, that people just choosing to stay out on that medium tyre. And,
yeah, my tyres are done. I had low tyre pressures on, and so they were just wearing a lot more than what other people's were. Yeah, I guess it just came down to practice. I didn't really put any laps in, and I guess that showed. I was just on the wrong strategy pretty much the entire race.
Well, that's unfortunate, but there was lots of close battles there, and I'm sure you'll come back strong next weekend. Yeah,
for sure. I reckon I'll be hopefully on those top 3 steps next week. So yeah.
Alrighty, we'll be looking forward to it as we see the drivers come on the podium now. Plevs there taking P1, Ferrari Pro. I'm sure he's disappointed with that P2, but still a well-deserved P2 from him. And Leo rounds off our top 3 there. Well, yeah, quite a clean race, I would have to say, from these guys.
Yeah, it was pretty clean. There were a couple little battles and a couple little bit of touching, but for a track like this, that's bound to happen. But yeah, the boys kept it pretty clean.
Yeah, definitely difficult to overtake. I think we just definitely saw that DRS heavily aiding the overtakes there. But that's your top 3 there. Top 5, Wogboy, Karma. Good finish from Wogboy and Karma. Great finish from him. Drax 2, Zach in P7, Ford in P8, Scotty P9 and P10 rounding off with Jays. And BP and P11, big shame for him. Not a weekend to forget for him. Bags, P12, Silderfort, P13, and then our DNFs of Tri-Kid, Rude, Tinselman, and Racing up to. And yeah, that's going to be all from us this weekend. We will, I'll just pull up the chat map for you. The guys there will be here. It's Spain next weekend. So yeah, that's a bit of a Vegemite track for the guys. Some people love it, some people hate it. And yeah, thanks for sticking around, and thanks for commentating with me, Tent. It was a pleasure to have you once again.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. It was good fun as always.
And thanks
again. See you next week.
Yes, and thanks again once again to our driver Focus, who was GeForce Forward. Thanks.